And now a look at something Democratic leaders are feeling very positive about: the expansion of the child tax credit. Earlier today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Congresswoman Maxine Waters appeared in South Los Angeles, discussing the importance of this credit and its impact on the local community.
We build our infrastructure, that's a wonderful thing. But we must build the human infrastructure. It's about the strength of our families.
These monthly payments come with changes made by Congress as part of the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan that was passed back in March. I had the chance to talk about the child tax credit and other ways in which decisions in D.C. are resonating here in Southern California with Congressman Brad Sherman, who represents the state's 30th district in the San Fernando Valley.
Well, the most important thing is the child tax credit. $250 per child. Child's under 6 is $300 every month, wired into bank accounts. We secured that for 1 year only. And when people talk about human infrastructure and the big bill that Democrats want to pass, that is the centerpiece, because that by itself takes half the kids who would otherwise grow up in poverty and pulls them out of poverty. And I know it's not specific to the San Fernando Valley, it's nationwide, but it's, I think, the most important thing we've done so far.
Yeah.
As to local efforts, we've secured money to start the planning process of building a rail through the Sepulveda Pass. If you look at a map of Los Angeles and where we need to build rail, the obvious spine is the San Diego Freeway, the Sepulveda Pass. And that is, of course, the most congested roadway in America. In addition, we've secured money to, they tell me they can, with restriping and some additional changes, get another lane on the surface of the 405. And I know people will say that that will fill up immediately, which just proves that there's a need for it, and that not having that lane would be a very bad thing.
As we talk to you here in August, we are very swiftly coming upon the September 11th deadline that President Biden has set for a withdrawal from Afghanistan. Do you feel that we are truly ready to be in that position to leave that country? And how do you think that might impact us here in Southern California? We are home to a lot of military bases, and as you well know, we don't always have the support for folks coming back home that is probably really necessary.
Well, the number of troops we now have in Afghanistan is very small, and they may be deployed to military bases anywhere in the country or the world. This is not like coming back from World War II and parades and millions of people. What will be coming to our country in much greater numbers are the refugees of people who have been interpreters. What we still have to fight for in Afghanistan is a semi-reasonable government. And we have some cards to play, but the one card we don't play is the idea that we would stay in Afghanistan and continue to be involved in military conflict. But whoever runs Afghanistan needs trade and aid from the United States. And we have to, while we have to protect the interpreters, I hope that the government of Afghanistan 2 or 3 years from now is reasonable enough that some of those interpreters may move back to Afghanistan. Yeah. We'll see how reasonable a government we can get. I know that Pakistan will be an important part of trying to have negotiations with the Taliban instead of complete capitulation.
Do you feel like our efforts in Afghanistan have been a success?
In terms of nation building, no. In terms of getting Osama bin Laden, yes. I'm not sure I buy the Pottery Barn rule, which is you break it, you fix it. Afghanistan was broken when we got there, and we certainly haven't fixed it. But the Pottery Barn doesn't even enforce the Pottery Barn rule. There may be times when you have to go after Osama bin Laden, and you can't fix Afghanistan. We have failed for 20 years to build a real civic society there that can defend itself militarily or as institutions of government. And so we're leaving, we're giving ourselves very limited bargaining power. And let's hope that the Afghanistan of the future is not as terrible as many of those who are fleeing Afghanistan believe it will be.
Representative Brad Sherman of California's 30th District, thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I would like to note that I spoke with Brad Sherman before today's big announcement from the Pentagon that they will be evacuating some personnel from the U.S. Embassy in Kabul as the Taliban continues its offensive.